Morphtenoon folks, Mark here, and welcome to the sofa. This time round, I've got a tower stealth suit, a dumb idea, and no real clue how it's going to go. So, why not join me at the painting table, and let's find out. Best part of this? I prepped the stealth suit years ago. All I have to do is take off these magnets and glue the weapon down. Probably worth pinning the feet too. Okay, the plan. Who remembers this? By Neil Hodgson, featured in a GW guide years ago. Love the concept, but I couldn't help wondering if it would work from multiple angles. So that's the plan. I figured starting with 3 angles would give me one focal point whichever direction you looked at it from. Just needed to figure out what those focal points were. Big old pipes are a good terrain standby. They can have a control box as the focus, and being horizontal, they'll make it easier to match to the suit. A chunky building with some anti-Xeno posters makes another focal point that will be a bit more challenging as the view angle changes. And then, for lack of a better plan, a big old statue. Broken, of course. Can't be making a whole one, we'll be here all year. Now that's sorted, let's get blundering. Blendering. Probably both. Starting with rough blocks for the base and model, I could slowly and painfully build up the details. Made some pipes, eventually adding the control box that will be the main feature. After that, I moved on to the building, adding heavy structure. And a ridiculously heavy door, with hinges I could manipulate later. The statue took a bit of messing about, but eventually I got something that looked like the lower half of a tech priest. Plenty for what I had in mind. I could just crop off some bits and add a little rebar. Then it was just a lot of printing. And here we go. All the pieces ready. I had to split the plinth into 4 parts to fit the printer. That was a whole thing. So let's get it cleaned up and assembled, because I want to actually paint. The base was the sensible place to start. It wasn't complicated, just put 2 pieces together, add resin, and blast with UV. It was fiddly though, because I didn't put internal supports in. Instead, I had to try and get these little braces into place so they'd lock it at the right depth. Glue it all together, and I could start cleaning up terrain. Figured I'd start with the pipes again, cutting and filing away the print marks. Oh, and slicing away the failed part inside the corner. The wall had worse support artifacts, so I spent a while cleaning that up. Then, it was the statue's turn. I used the blue part of green stuff to temporarily stick things in place as I built it up. This was a clever plan to let me move the big scenery parts out the way for painting. Don't worry, it backfires in a minute. The story here is that the stealth suit has emerged from the building, leaving a scene of devastation and fading into the landscape. Which meant he had to blow the bloody door off. And that meant bending it. Easy enough with some hot water and gentle pressure. Extra battle damage on the pipes and building would stop it looking too pristine. I even bent and tore the hinge parts, which was so much fun I forgot where the camera was. Sorry. Now comes the trickier bit. Building up the ground texture around some barely attached bits of terrain. I used wall filler to bulk up some areas, then tried to mix it up a little by sprinkling these battleground grains into the pumice paste. Not sure they'll make any difference, but worth a try. At this point, I realised I didn't actually need to remove the terrain, because the bits I needed access to most were the bits not blocked by terrain. So I glued it all down properly, and went back to adding more paste. I made some quick copies of the suit's feet before I put it in place. Those let me leave a trail of heavy footprints in the dirt to help sell the story. I'd spent weeks designing, printing, and assembling this thing by now, and there was no sign of a paintbrush. Which told me it was probably time to tidy up the edges and take a day or 3 off. So that's where we'll call it. Well, this quick project got out of hand. Not a huge surprise, I suppose. I needed the terrain to make the effect work, and enough space not to crowd him. Priming him puts me in a good position for next time when I have to make him vanish. And not via an editing trick. What do you think? How's it gone so far? And what are my chances of pulling this off? Let me know, and maybe I'll see you next time.